top time management secrets that I really abide by that I don't find a lot of people talking about, right? I feel like you're always downloading apps, you're always buying a new planner, you're always trying some different hack or technique. I feel like you're not getting the most out of your time. I hope this video is helpful for you. And so with that, let's get into it. Hey, CourtneyLSanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time 7-figure certified life and business coach, as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things. And that is actually one of the top questions I get, right? Outside of how do I, become a life coach or start my coaching business? How do I attract clients? Or how do I outsource? People want to know, how do I find people to build my team? So side note, if any of those topics are interesting to you, you can go ahead and let me know in the comments and I'll do a video on them. But another question that I get asked quite frequently is, how on earth are you doing this all, right? Even people in my real life are like, how are you doing this all, right? My nanny comes because I have my daughter with us at home, and my son is at school, and she'll come in the morning, and I'll be up working. In fact, I talked about this in a different podcast about my super early wake up time. So if that's of interest to you, you can go check that episode out. I won't spoil it here because I don't want to scare you off in terms of how I get a lot of things done. But for the record, if you're like, ooh, she wakes up really early, I also go to bed really early, right? I'm kind of like a old lady. I go to bed early. So that's kind of one of my secrets. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself, but because so many people ask me this, I thought it'd be fun to do a video all about the top time management secrets that I really abide by that I don't find a lot of people talking about, right? Most of the time, if you look here on YouTube and you search for time management hacks or productivity principles or whatever, you're gonna get a lot of suggestions around use this to-do list, time block, handle your planner this way, keep a bullet journal, use a Pomodoro timer, like all of these kind of external things that are supposed to make you more productive and make you use your time wisely. But I find for me, it's actually an inside out game, right? As are most things in life. Probably not surprising too. Hello, I'm a life coach. So everything ultimately is about mindset and who you are as a person, but it's true because who we are ultimately creates the reality that we get to experience. And I truly believe that. And I think time management is no different. So if you've dealt with a lot of those apps, you feel like you're always downloading apps, you're always buying a new planner, you're always trying some different hack or technique, but you're not really achieving what you want to achieve, and you just feel like you're not getting the most out of your time. I hope this video is helpful for you. And so with that, let's get into it. All right, my first time management secret that I haven't really heard anybody talk about, but I've noticed that not just with myself, but other people that I'm around who also work very hard and achieve a lot in their life, my successful friends, etc. They focus more on accuracy of the time or what they do in the time than the amount, right? So they focus on accuracy versus amount. What I mean by that is a lot of people spend all of their time fretting around how much time they do or don't have. And I slipped into this, especially when I first had my son and became a mom. I was like, oh my goodness, like my time got cut into like a quarter, right? I'm not sleeping, I'm up with this baby, and then you're up with the baby during the day, and then you still have other family responsibilities. Like, if you are, a young person who doesn't have kids yet, right? I think about how I was when I was 20 and 21, complaining about how I didn't have any time. And now I'm in my 30s, married with 2 kids. And I'm like, oh, wow. I now know what it means to not have time, right? So if you're a young person and you don't have kids yet, and you're complaining about not having enough time, like, I don't want to hear it, because you have a lot more time than you think, okay? But yeah, I think that I kind of shifted into this because of that, because I first got to the point of like, oh my goodness, I don't have enough time. I'm not gonna be able to get anything done. And then I realized like, look, this is gonna be your life for like the next 18 years, Because I think when you're a new parent, you always think like the next hurdle is gonna like be better, right? Oh, when I'm not, nursing anymore, they're sleeping through the night. And then they're sleeping through the night, but then they're up all the time. They're not sleeping during the day, and they're toddlers and they're running everywhere and you have to chase after them. And then you're like, oh, I'll just have more time when they go to school, and then they go to kindergarten, and then you're getting emails and text messages from, the teachers about all these like random projects, and can you come to the school for this and field trip for that, and stay up all night and make this macaroni, like whatever, arts and craft project. It's just like, you're never gonna have the amount of time that you think you need, especially, while you are raising children. I don't know what it's like to be an empty nester, so maybe when I become an empty nester, I'll have more time. But I had to just make peace with I'm not gonna have the amount, right, of time that I want. So it's very important that I focus on the accuracy of what I do in the time that I have. And so I find that a lot of people don't do this. They just say like, oh, I wanna achieve these things, I have these goals, and then they spend a lot of time like getting ready to get ready, right? If I had $1 for everybody who's like, oh, I'm gonna start a business, and then I see them next year and I'm like, hey, have you started your business? And they're like, oh, no, not yet, I'm still getting my LLC. And then I talk to them the following year and I'm like, have you started your business yet? And they're like, well, no, but I printed these business cards on Vistaprint. And I'm just like, girl, when are you gonna start your business, right? This is what I'm saying. People engage in activities that like feel good and feel like they're making progress, but are really just kind of like fluff and don't really actually get them towards the goal. And I find that if you eliminate a lot of the fluff out of your life, if you eliminate a lot of the fluff out of your task and your goals and your projects and all these things, and you get really, really precise with it, you'll find that you don't need nearly as much time as you think you do, because everything that you do is spot on the mark, right? You are hitting the target every single time. You'd be amazed if you just eliminate a lot of this like, oh, what do I do now? Well, wait, like the spinning your wheels, you have to eliminate that. So if you're wondering how you do that, that actually goes to my second point when it comes to time management, which is I break things down. Like, I was gonna say, I feel like I need to do a whole course on this, but I did, right? It was called the Big Goal Breakdown, but I did that some years ago. So maybe for the new year, that's something that I'll have to reboot. If you would like an updated version of the Big Goal Breakdown, let me know, and I'll see if we can make that happen. But I talk about breaking things down all the time, and I don't think people hear me. They don't hear me, okay? I'm talking about more than just like, oh, okay, this is what I want to achieve. And so first step is this and second step is that, right? I think when I say break things down, people think I'm talking about it like a recipe, right? Like, oh, I want to bake a cake. Okay, first step is I go get the flour. Second step is I go get the eggs, right? That's not what I'm talking about. When I say break things down, I mean, I am taking my life's dreams and I am breaking those down into achievable goals with deadlines on them. And I am taking those goals and breaking them down into projects with short-term deadlines that I can actually achieve. And I am breaking those projects down into day-to-day tasks, right? Week-to-week tasks, month-to-month tasks, depending on how long the project is, that if I just check everything off this to-do list, I will have completed the project. And if I complete the project, I would have achieved the goal. And if I achieve the goal, I would have achieved the dream, right? There's this level of precision. In fact, I go into that in detail inside of this video, which is all around how to set goals like a millionaire, right? Because I learned this process from a millionaire and it has truly changed my life. Like, I am able to get so much more done, so much faster, not because I have more time, but because I am like a sniper, right? Like, I am so accurate with exactly what I need to do in order to make certain outcomes happen, that even if I only have like, you know, a few, maybe 30 minutes here or an hour here, or, you know, stuff is going on. This always happens when my kids get sick, right? They both get sick at the same time, and then my son is home from school, and it's just like, you know, I rarely have any time to myself in those situations. I'm still able to move a lot of things over the line because I'm like, you know what? If I could just get an hour in the morning or when they're napping or after they go to bed, all I need is an hour, because I've already identified that I only need to do this one thing in order to knock this domino down that will then have this cascading effect on everything else that I want to achieve. So if you are chronically stressed out about not having enough time, one, ask yourself if you're being accurate with your time, but two, ask yourself, have you properly broken it down where you know with precision what specifically you need to do in order to make your outcomes happen? All right, and going along with that breaking things down, the next thing that I do is I prioritize. I am a master prioritizer. Is that a word? Meaning, so going back to breaking this down and knowing how everything rolls up, right? Oh, I'm doing this task, but it's related to this project, and this project is related to this goal, and this goal is related to this dream. Here's the thing, not everything is urgent at the same time. And so I also find that people who struggle with time management, really, maybe they don't struggle with time management, they struggle with prioritization, right? They don't know how to put first things first, and they don't know what's most important when, right? And I could do a whole video on this because it's not just the urgency. I think we all know, like, if there's something coming up that you need to do that immediately, right? Like maybe your taxes are due, right? Maybe it's like April and taxes are due on April 15th. That's an urgent task in your business, right? You're immediately gonna start working on that. But there are a lot of things that aren't urgent in the sense that like the house is burning down, right? If you don't get it done, but they are very, very important, and they're important because they're kind of the tent pole that really affects everything else. In fact, I think that's a project management term. I don't know, my husband's a project manager, so he always is talking about the tent pole in a particular project that everything else is connected to. You have to know what that is. And so I'm very clear on what that is because they're very sneaky. Oftentimes it might be something that you don't think is a big deal, but can have a cascading effect on maybe multiple areas in your life. For instance, one of the tentpole items that was having a negative effect in my personal life, in my business, whatever, was getting our house organized, right? Now, if you would have sat me down and said, Courtney, what are the most important tasks for you to do in your business? Getting my house organized would not have been one of them, right? I've been like, look, we got to shoot these YouTube videos. We're launching this program. I'm hiring these people, right? There's all these like obvious things that you think that you need to do in order to make your goals happen. But because I follow this process, right? I focus on breaking things down, being accurate with my time, and I start to see what the priority is. I noticed that a lot of delays that I was having, even just struggle and stress in the morning, right? Getting my kids together, getting my son together for kindergarten, and stuff not being where it needed to be. On the weekends, stuff not getting put back where it needed to be, me not being able to find documents and different things in my home office, and just a lot of like chaos. And I couldn't understand because I was like, we keep the house clean, right? I have a housekeeper. I've had a housekeeper since we were living in a 2-bedroom apartment as newlyweds. So I talk about that story as well. How I often fondly think of my housekeeper as my first hire because, having her there at the time, it was every 2 weeks in that little apartment, was really instrumental in me growing my business on the side while I was working in my full-time job. But I say that to say it's not like, the house isn't clean or it's like messy. I couldn't figure this out because I'm like, the house is getting cleaned every single week. Like, what in the world is going on? And I realized that it was a lack of systems in the house, right? The house wasn't organized, right? We were going to the grocery store and, stuff wasn't in the pantry the way it needed to be, or it was, but it was hidden. And so we were buying multiple things and we were running out to the store to get ingredients that we actually already had. And we were wasting time on this, or, we're scrambling in the morning trying to find clothes for my son because he grows so fast and he's outgrowing stuff. And the clothes that I had just bought him were like hidden in the back. So, it was just a lot of like, this isn't organized. So I hired a professional organizer to help me organize my house and to organize my home office. And it has made all the difference. So this is what I'm saying. That became a priority because it was a tent pole where I recognized a lot of things are connected to this. And if we could just get this out of the way and get this handled, it's going to have this positive snowball effect on a lot of different things. So I find that people who struggle with time management, again, are focused on like, I don't have enough time, or they're thinking about like, I work a 9-to-5 job. I'm trying to build my business on the side. I don't have enough time because I only have time in the morning. Not realizing there might be other things that you need to be focusing on that could create more time, that can make it so that you operate faster, that you operate more efficiently. Therefore, you need less time. So you do that by prioritization. What is actually most important, even if it's not the most urgent? Now, the fourth thing that I do that's kind of a time management hack that I don't know that people talk about is I feel like I know how to manage my motivation, okay? I know what motivates me and I will do whatever it takes in order to motivate me. True story, as I'm recording these videos, you guys know that I batch record my videos. I have a CEO lunch. This is actually running late into the afternoon, so it'll probably turn into a CEO dinner at a restaurant that I've been really excited to try for like a week, right? And so I told myself, you knock these videos out, you're gonna take yourself to this restaurant and you're gonna have an amazing meal, right? So it could be simple things like that, little rewards in order to get tasks done. I love structuring my environment a certain way. That's why I was a big stickler on having my office decorated the way that I want it to, or sometimes just going to a coffee shop that I really enjoy and I love the ambiance in there. I read my goals every single morning, like literally before I do my to-do list, I look at my goals and my dreams and what I'm ultimately doing all of this for. I say all that to say, I keep my motivation in front of me, whether it's giving myself rewards, creating a nice environment that makes me feel good to get my work done in, or just reminding myself of my goals and what I'm ultimately doing this for. I keep my motivation first and foremost. That way it's a lot easier for me to do my work and I can move much faster, again, eliminating, the need for a lot of time to manage. All right, and the fifth thing that I do that I want to start talking about more, I feel like this will be one of my CEO series podcasts, which by the way, you should totally subscribe to my podcast if you're not. But I do this monthly CEO series where I talk about like from the CEO side, like what it's like to build a company from scratch, because I really don't have a manual or a rule book. But one thing that has become increasingly important to me, not just in my business, but in my personal life, and it definitely affects time management, is partnerships. Now hear me, because people hear me say partnerships and they think I'm talking about just hiring people or just outsourcing. Now that is a type of partnership, right? And it is hugely helpful and it is something I do, right? I hire people, I outsource things all the time, both in my personal life at home and also in my business. But I find that partnership in the sense that I'm talking about is almost another level, because part of why we struggle with time management is because there's time we need for doing and there's time we need for thinking, right? And oftentimes we're not separating out the task enough to know how much thinking time needs to be done before we can actually like execute and do the thing. And so sometimes people think like, oh, if I just like had help or just hired people, it would be easier. not realizing that while you might outsource the handwork, meaning you have a pair of hands to help you do the thing, you didn't really outsource the head work, right? You still are responsible for thinking through the strategy. Again, even if it's something personal in your home, right? If you hire someone to clean up your house, but you have to be the one to like always strategize around like, okay, I want this cleaned this way, and can you organize this stuff over here or whatever? Like if you're just hiring a pair of hands, but you're not hiring like, you know, a head, right? Someone who could be the head of that department in your personal life or in your business, you will find that, yeah, you'll have some time, you know, to yourself now that that person is working with you, but you might find yourself stressed now, always answering questions or having to be the brains of the operation. And so I really love this idea of partnerships because it's beyond like just hiring someone. It's essentially giving away a piece of the pie because you know that the pie is gonna be bigger and your slice is gonna be bigger, but the work you need to do to get that slice is gonna be smaller, right? And that has just been huge for me. I say this coming off of a weekend where I had spent a lot of hours putting together a proposal for a bid that I was going with, and I was doing this in partnership, right, with some business colleagues of mine. And I was just so grateful that I was not doing this alone, not just because they were helping doing the actual like hands-on keyboard technical work, but they were helping bringing their expertise. Like there were aspects of that proposal that I didn't have to think about because they thought about it, right? It was in their wheelhouse, it was what they did. And it was such a huge relief that it was off me, right? And having that sense of relief and not that burden on my shoulders allowed me to work faster in my area. Now, it was still a lot of work to do, right? Because we were up all weekend, not sleeping, getting this done. But this is why I was saying, like, I never would have gotten it done at all had it been on me, because the amount of work that I had to do was a lot. And so I was so grateful that someone wasn't just doing the thing, but I still had to direct them. But they totally took it like off my hands, right? And so it's a partnership, right? Meaning people have to have a vested interest in whatever it is that you're doing. So they had a vested interest in ultimately, hopefully what this proposal will turn out to be. I had a vested interest, but I'm grateful for that, right? Because this is bigger than what any of us could have gone after ourselves. And so you want to think about how you can do that in your personal life and business life, right? You might want to think about, say, nanny shares, right? Or even just taking turns, you know, watching each other's kids, right? Maybe you're a single mom and you're trying to grow this business on the side, but, you know, childcare is an issue. See if you can partner with another single mom and you guys, you know, swap time with each other. And it's like the two of you together. Again, it's not a hired hand, right? You're not hiring somebody or childcare or nanny or whatever. You're actually partnering with someone who has a vested interest in what you both are trying to achieve. And so, yes, you could do this in business. You could do this in your personal life. I find that partnership is definitely the name of the game. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and it's gonna help you manage your time. Now, if time is of the essence and you're like me, right, and you don't have a lot of it, but you really, really wanna start a successful coaching business, come on in. You need to join my CLS Coaching Certification Program. Not only do we give you an accredited certification and we show you how to come up with your own coaching methodology, but we can help you do this in as little as 90 days, right? Who doesn't want to be certified in 90 days? We can help you do that. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the link below in order to apply. And if accepted, you'll be invited to a call with my enrollment coordinators who will walk you through the entire process. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you can't wait for my next YouTube video, make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm on both now, CourtneyLSanders. And also don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.